So, if you're familiar with my point of view about the news, you know that I see a lot of important stories. I see a lot of interesting stories. All that matters is the U.S.-China existential struggle for supremacy. Will the Chicoms win or will Uncle Sam win? That's really the only story I really think is important, in all honesty. And so we've been talking on the platform for a couple days about the Chinese, once again, withholding these rare earth minerals that are essential for everything and raising again my question. Scott Bessent, genius, certified genius. I mean, I think even his critics would say certified genius. How do you tell the president of the United States charge into war with the Chicoms on trade when they hold the ultimate trump card? And I say that pun intended. How could you do that? Because do they need access to the U.S. market? Yes, they do. Do they want our chips? Yes, they do. All sorts of things. There's all sorts of things that Chinese want and need from us, but ain't nothing that we have, even the access to the American market, that is as leverageable as their rare earth minerals. And I've never understood, and we've seen flare ups in the past where the Chinese have suggested they're going to withhold them, and then Scott Bessent goes to some European capital and has some meetings, and then they back down. Well, the Chinese did it again 2 days ago, yesterday, I don't know, yesterday. And so the president was saying, well, maybe we won't have our meeting on the sidelines of the meeting in Seoul, the international conference in Seoul. And then today, 100% tariffs, the president says, 100% tariffs on Chinese. So now we're in a trade war. And again, the Chinese really want the meeting. They would like some sort of concord, some sort of conclave, some sort of communication, but the markets didn't like it. The markets have accepted all sorts of problems and announcements and uncertainties, but they didn't like this. U.S. markets, I don't know what they do today, plunge, collapsed, gave back gains. What would Andrew Ross Sorkin say? Alls I know is there's lots of other stories we'll cover today. There's lots of other important news, Middle East and shutdown and indictments. But this is what I call big casino. Big casino. What's going to happen here? I suspect the Chinese will back down and pretend they're going to cooperate again on the rare earth minerals. But it just shows you, it's just, I have been less of a critic of the trade gambit, the trade scheme. I'd say scheme in the British sense, not the American sense, than many others have, because I have said, I believe my sources from 2024 during the campaign who said Trump doesn't love tariffs. He loves the tool of tariffs. Trump is going to try to change the United States relationship with all these countries who rip us off. He's right about his prescription. I mean, his analysis of what's been happening. And unlike our previous presidents, slaves to free trade for the most part, he had a plan to do something about it. Downside for sure. Tariffs are not good for the economy. Any Econ 101 class will tell you that. But he had a plan, and then after Liberation Day, the market started to adjust, and some of these countries started to give the United States better deals. Are we making every iPhone in the U.S.? No. Are the tariff and non-tariff barriers gone? No. But a president is doing something with strategy and a brilliant Secretary of State and a very able trade representative and Howard Lutnick to try to change the rules of the game. Great. But again, you can't, they're going, here's a clumsy metaphor. It's like, okay, let's go to war with the Chinese. They've got guns, we've got guns. They've got slingshots, we've got slingshots. They've got drones, we have drones. Oh, they have nuclear weapons. Oh, we don't have nuclear weapons. And they're not afraid to use their nuclear weapons. This rare earth minerals thing, I do not understand the strategy that's predicated on going to war with them when all they have to do is say we're cutting off the rare earth minerals. Now, I'm no expert. Many of you are delighted to point out on 3 or 4 times a week, Mark, you're not an expert on something you talked about. I'm not, but I am from the Trump school on this. The experts had their chance. So I know a little bit about this stuff. I know enough to know that every time the Chinese say they're going to cut off the rare earth minerals, it really screws up our attempt to try to leverage the advantages we have as a country. And I don't see anything that we have that's close to what they have. So there's long-term plans to try to get them elsewhere, try to develop them, get them from Ukraine or Greenland or whatever. But in this immediate trade battle, and during the 3 years that President Trump has left in office, I don't see a way around this to win this fight. And winning the fight with the Chinese, military, diplomatic, economic, spheres of influence, is predicated on getting leverage over Xi. You've heard me say it 100 times. The job of President of the United States is basically how do you get leverage over Xi, Putin, and Netanyahu? President Trump, just in the last couple of days, has demonstrated he's got one of those three figured out. And on the other two, doesn't have a lot figured out. Next to none over Putin. And while the Chinese want access to the American market, and that gives us some leverage, I just don't see what the solution is for the rare earth minerals thing. I just don't see it. Cozy Earth makes products viscose made from bamboo. You've no doubt, I suspect correctly that I'm currently wearing my Cozy Earth pants, but they're so much more than pants. Yes, they are. Cozy Earth bamboo sheets, very comfortable, very cooling when it's hot out, very warm in the colder nights. A kind of magical material. The Bubble Cuddle blanket is a fan favorite. You can buy that too. A combination of comfort and style. And then, of course, all the bedding comes with a 100-day return, 10-year money-back guarantee, 10-year warranty, rather. And right now, you can get all the Cozy Earth products 20% off. Pants, joggers, shirts, everything. 20% off if you go to cozyearth.com. Put in the promo code two-way for 20% off, because home isn't just where you live, ladies and gentlemen. It's how you feel. Let's go home with Cozy Earth. Again, cozyearth.com, promo code two-way. Thank you for your attention to the pants. They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America. And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and two-way tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.